In the moment, just quiet right now. He said that I had to be quiet. He said that I had to be quiet. Welcome to this episode of Spooktober. We are slowly getting flooded by a smoke cloud. So, this episode 9. Well, technically it's just number 9. This is a game that I really like. I like its sequel. You probably heard me gush about its sequel before on a lot of other things. But here's the predecessor, Dark Cloud. No, has nothing to do with the spiky-haired protagonist from the 7th Final Fantasy. Which is kind of redundant when you think about it, that there's even more than one Final Fantasy. But then again, it's a JRPG. JRPGs get turned into series typically. Which I wish there would have been a third Dark Cloud. Like, technically Dark Cloud 2 was Dark Chronicle. So, this one could have been called, like, either Dark Chronicle 2 or no, I can't really think of a name for Dark Cloud 3, but whatever. So, Dark Cloud 2. Oh. Like, there's a lot of preparation you have to do in this game. Now, in the final area, which, not like the last one, I definitely should have ended up getting some footage of a thing, but I didn't get a footage of a thing, so I'm just gonna have to tell you about it whilst I am running around doing what the fuck and the visual over to there. So anyways, just, you have to do a lot of preparation, and in this place, in the world this takes place in, it ends up being Earth. Going to the final area is a giant dark lit castle with corridors, and you're basically trying to travel back through time to stop the bad thing from happening, which, if you are anyone who is closed loop things, then you are immediately wrong. It is multiverse theory. Get on the next level. So yes, my canonical ending to this game is I fail and I just give in to the fate of the world. Because screw having to deal with the final boss. If Joey desires, he can look up a clip of the final boss. He doesn't have to show it. He can just look it up and tell you how fuck up this final boss is. Anyways, moving on. So we have, as always, the back. Revival of an ancient evil once banished. Rebirth of a land once destroyed. Renewal of renewal of love once lost. The bottom corner of here says RP. RP. Anyway, so two great continents, one an advanced civilization driven by progress and technology, the other where nature is the center of all existence and everyone lives harmoniously side by side. Two cultures that have never had contact with each other until now. An ancient evil has been unleashed. Journey on a quest through time to unravel the mysterious tale of the Dark Cloud. Innovative new gameplay, diorama, build a customized world, play it, interact with the world in real time, and live it. Build the worlds and unveil clues and pieces of the storyline. Real-time weather and daytime display system. As the time of day changes, everything in the environment changes, including interactions with NPCs, environmental elements, and other significant events. 6 playable team members, each with their own unique abilities, weapons, skills, and strengths. Detailed weapon system. The weapon system allows you to change and increase your weapon's strength and damage. Hundreds of items including magic, treasure, diorama pieces, keys, and more. Breathtaking graphics and over 60 minutes of cinema quality cutscenes unfold over 50 plus hours of gameplay. Well, honestly, like, I'm going to have my brother editor put the intro, like the opening sequence to this before the video starts, right? Because that thing is fucking amazing. Like, that is still like my favorite intro sequence to a video game, excluding Shining Force EXA. Alright? Nothing's gonna beat that riff. But this intro comes very close. But anyways, as for the gameplay, well, I kind of have very similar things to say about it as I did, like, Ghost Rider. It's kind of a beat 'em up one, where you press X to attack. You have 6 playable characters, so effectively 6 different weapons. However, something improved upon for the second game, you only have 2 characters. Each character technically has 3 different sets of weapons. An altered state, which for Max is the ride pod. For Monica, she transforms into a monster and beats the hell out of everything. It depends on what badges you have to determine what monster she becomes, but she can become a monster and kick everything's ass. Assuming you waste your time grinding that. Anyways, so instead of having to switch between 6 different characters, you just have to decide which weapon you wish to use at the moment, either by holding R1 and X doing your secondary attack, or just mashing X. Like, again, the second one is much better for having it like that, instead of you constantly having to use like in this, you need to constantly switch between other players to get through certain obstacles. And then, even then, like, there are many reasons on why I just don't like the obstacle thing in this game. Like, can't you just do like a press X thing and it just has a cutscene where it automatically has that character switched to, and then like just a cutscene with that character on button press, and instead of having to have that character, like, that is just irritating. So, and then, like I said in the beginning, you need lots of preparation. Like, you need to have all the water. All the fucking water. Like, take all of Lake Norman and all the 5 Great Lakes in the United States, purify everything out of the Salt Lake from Salt Lake City, just get that big ass lake from Japan drained, and you might last the game. Maybe you'll last the game, because there's this bullshit system in place in the game that is rather irritating, that does not exist in the second one at all, where you need to drink water to continue adventuring in the dungeon.
Ooh, spooky scary cameraman says they got rid of it because it was ridiculous.
Well, not because it was ridiculous, it's realistic, and it's shit. Like, to the people who made this game,
Who wants a game with realistic physics?
I still appreciate your work on this. It's a very good game when you don't have the second one to compare it to. And I had the second one first. And I had, like, the second game will always be my favorite game out of any game ever. Like, this, it is good, but you might not want to leave the first area if you want to keep your sanity. But, let's talk about the dungeons, though. The dungeons are kind of randomly generated, and however, you can't ever have any dead ends. You can't have dead ends, really, but you just end up having the ability to have circles going everywhere. You have like 6 different dungeon areas you can go to. You have, and the only reason I didn't go into any of them during the clip that would be shown is they're a pain in the ass to go into and then have to waste your thirst dealing with this shit. Like, if only there was a way to permanently increase thirst. But there isn't. But, yeah. However, another little tad bit you'd probably like to know is you get to go to the moons. Not moon, moons. And you get to talk to space rabbits. Again, not in a clip, but that is something. That is something worth noting. Heck, you get to be friends with one that ends up having this helicopter pack that allows him to float over ditches. But it's like an annoyance at times with some of the things in this game. I like this game for keeping my hope alive about getting my. But I'll go into the story of Dark Cloud 2, not the story of Dark Cloud 2, but my experience with Dark Cloud 2. Like, when I was a child, I ended up having a copy of Dark Cloud 2. And, as most any normal person would, with a copy of a video game that kind of has a scratchy surface on the back, you would end up doing things to try to clear it up. Well, my grandpa tried helping with that once, and he fucking broke the disc. He broke the disc, and I gained crippling depression. Slowly getting fire in here. But anyway, so I gained crippling depression from my grandpa breaking my favorite game. A couple years later, my grandpa ended up getting this. He thought it was the game he thought he broke. And I kind of thought so too, until I started playing it, and then it's like, oh, well, this is a very nice story. You are a child that ends up being saved from a catastrophe by a ferryman. King of the fairies, in fact. But not king from Seven Deadly Sins, because this old man is nowhere near as badass as King. And King is a total wimp. I mean, except for the point where he says, oh hey, you can bring the dead back to life. Anyways, so I end up getting to a point where I could not progress. And then I decide, you know what, I'm gonna go home. To my character home. And just talk to Mom. Or play with the little cat. And then there was an option to transform the cat. She becomes a little cat girl in a white dress that looks like a bell. She is a Neko. And from what I remember watching people finish the game off, she just turns back into a normal white kitty as you walk back into town, saving the world from a future that it technically would have never known happened. But again, I only got to being able to meet the final boss and never being able to beat it. Doubt I ever will be able to beat it. And then I got Dark Cloud 2 again, and joy had returned to my existence. What I should have ended up having Dark Cloud 2 here instead, but this one ends up being a darker game in general. Like this one, you have a giant fat thing you have this giant fat demon eat a priest, and controlled by effectively a Nazi, a ginger Nazi with a mustache. Like, you know, like, I can't exactly remember the name of the mustache, but it's like, kind of like on the Pringle box.
A handlebar mustache.
Handlebar, yeah. Sorry for getting that. But still, like, you end up having that. And then you also have just the entire thing that you have to personally get involved on fighting this horrific evil. I know it's probably been going on for a while. Quit doing this. Or this. I can't really tell. You're an ethereal being. Whatever. So, anyways, to try to wrap this up then, sir, it's basically, it's alright if you play this game. I'd say it's not shit, but there are definitely things that could be improved. And from watching a review I remember watching a while back, there was supposed to be a thing where you rode around on a magic carpet. That would have been fucking awesome. But
this isn't Aladdin.
Anyways, so yeah, this ends up having a ginger Nazi summoning a fat ass demon that's like 3 stories tall, and you get to ride a giant horned hamster with wings. So I think I'm gonna have to find a different change of headgear for the next episode, though. I don't want the government listening in on my thoughts. So, see you next time.